and welcome to this week tutorial. In this week tutorial, we finished the project that we started 3 weeks ago. So this will be the last part of this series. In the first series, we designed a landing page for the patient of real estate website. In the second part, we laid the HTML, and last week we did the CSS. And this week we're going to be adding the JavaScript to make it interactive. So this is the finished project and right here. So we're gonna add this part. We click the menu icon, this mobile navigation sliding, and we click, it goes away. And also we add this when we start scrolling, the header change background, and the drop down will work. When we click, it shows we can choose. When we click here also, we can choose whichever we want. When we click outside of it, it goes away. And also we will add JavaScript for our tab section right here. So we click, it change, as you can see. Also we add the last piece, which is the slider right here. You can see it automatic, so sliding, as you can see, the second one. And when we click each one of that, it's like the right location and autoplay the last one. It will go back to the first one, as you can see. So that'll be what we'll be working on this week. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello and welcome back. My name is Marius, and on this channel I create web design and development tutorial. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe and hit on the bell notification icon so you won't miss my tutorial. As I said in the intro, we'll be adding the JavaScript to our website to make it interactive. So when we click this menu icon, it will slide, and when we scroll, it will change the background color and make the drop down work, and the carousel here also to work, and also this tab. So I will open up my JavaScript, the script.js. So we get started on the header. So I'm going to create a function. I'll call it navigation. And let me put a little comment right here. Header. And down here, we call the function, so navigation. Save it. Nothing happens here. So now I will create some variable. The first variable will be the header itself. So the counts called header will be documents, queries letter, header, the header class. And then now select the actual mobile menu of this side right here, and select it. So sequence mobile menu, and that will be the header, because inside of this header right here, so instead of writing document again, I can write header queries letter, and it has class, a class header nav item. And after this one, just want to duplicate this one, and this will be the menu icon. And that will be mobile menu dash icon. And then I'm gonna add the event listener to the click to this menu icon. So say menu icon, add event listener. So I'm going to listen to the click. I'm going to run the function. I'll use the arrow function. So all we want to do is in mobile menu, you're going to toggle the class active. So class list, that toggle, and then we're going to add the class active. So if the menu had a class active, it will remove it. If it doesn't have a class active, it will add it. So if I save this one, and we click, as you can see, it shows. It will remove it. If I make it larger, no, now right here, we inspect, put this at the bottom right here. See, so mobile right here. If I click, I added the active class right here. If I click again, it's going to remove it. I put this one out, make this one smaller again. And now I add a scrolling effect, so it add a background color to the header when we scroll. So it's still here. I will go down. Here's a window. Add event listener. Scroll. Down run function, arrow function. Here we're going to get the amount that we scroll. So create constant scroll amount, and that will be window that scroll y. So if I save this and we cancel that line, the scroll amount, you will see the value will change as you scroll. So I will just right click and choose inspect, and down here, as you can see, when we reach the top, it reaches 0. So I will create a constant here called threshold. Now put it to 100. So that's the minimum we had to achieve scroll in order to add the background color. So I will say I will the ternary operator for the if statement, and else so if scroll amount is greater or equals to the threshold, then we say header class list add active, else header a class list that remove active. Save it. Make sure add semicolon at the end right here. Save it. So see, this is if this is true, we do this one. Else this one. So we are at least 100 pixels. We scroll at least 100 pixels. Then we're gonna add the active class, or else. That means if you are less than 100, then we're gonna remove it. So if we scroll, now you see add the color to it. Let me take a look at the HTML right here. So header, see it have active. We are scroll back up, is removed because it's less than 100. So that's it for the navigation. When we click, it shows scroll, it add, remove. We click, it goes away. Now we're gonna work on this tab right here on this drop down. So I'm gonna show. So go down here. Now start working on the search. So search, create function also for search. And down here I'm gonna collect The first one, I'm going to grab the form, search form. I made this one a little bit. Instance form. Documents. The query selector. Cool. Now I'm going to grab all the drop down itself. All of this, all the drop down itself. So I'm going to say cons all drop down. No space. And that would be form, the query selector. All this all, go and grab them all. Form, class form drop down. And it need to be in string quotation. Okay. Now for this one, since we have like 1, 2, 3, only 3, instead of looping through each one of them and adding event, click event listener to them, add the click event to the form element and then drill down to the target where we click down. Make sure we clicking on this to show the form. So if I inspect this, we are right here. Someone add the click event to the form. Once I click, I'm gonna go down and see what we click on. So say form the add event listener, click and pass an event to the function that I want to run. Now we get a target, so as a cons targets, which we call that target. So like cancel lag that targets. This target will show what we clicked on. So if I click here, let me inspect. So say input. It's an input also. See. So that's what we want to get. So print this one down. And now we grab some other variables, so say counts the form group. We should wrap it around each one of these element form group. Go targets the closest. We want to travel up to find the closest form group. So right now when we click it, it's selecting the input field. I want to grab the form group right here and then select the drop down inside of it, because the form group wrap around the input, the icon, and a drop down. So I want to find the form group and then the drop down. So when I click on this one, I want to travel up, find the form group using the closest right here. Group. So let's cancel that. This also. If I save this, if I click this one, it gave me the form group. As you can see, I'm looking, click this one, it gave me the form group also. Say enter your desired location, I can see right here. So with that, I'm going to create another constant and grab the input, because we want to add a drop down to the input, this one. And if you can remember, I have this attribute read only, so we want to grab those only. We don't want to do it for this one. So say constant form just input equals the form group. So that means the one we click on, that one we select. Then we're gonna find the input that had this attribute right here. So I say form group, the query selector. I'm gonna select it like a CSS. So all we have to do is say input colon read on dash on, and that we select only the one that had these attributes. Now we're gonna select the drop down, again this will be form group, query selector, I had a class form drop down. Save it. Now and say if the input when we click on does not have this read only, we don't want to show the drop down. So I would say if it's not the input we're looking for, so exclamation inputs says the negation. So it's not the inputs that has this, that is this one. All we have to do is return. So with this, let's just cancel the inputs, save it. So if I click on this one, nothing shows. If I click on this one, it shows because it had this read only. So once we do that, all we have to do is the drop down and add a class active to it. So drop down, and now class list, add active. So like click on this one. Now we have that nothing happens here. Now it's showing, but the problem is, see, this is showing and this is showing. I want to remove it if we click another one. So before the return right here, all I had to do is we're gonna all remember we select this all of them. So say all drop down for each the drop. This drop refer to each individual drop down right here. But more this one, it represent this one and this one when they loop through. So each one of them I just want to grab and remove the class active class list. That remove active. Save it. So say I click this one, it shows I click this one, it remove it. See, it's hidden. I click this one, remove it. I click here, it awesome. Now that's selecting. I want to select, so I right click this. So we inspect this one, see where inside li. Again, we see on the form, we're clicking on the form. Now we want to draw down to this li and then select this, the value, and put it right here. So all we have to do is say if the target, again, the target refer to what we clicked on. If the targets tag name, what is the tag name, is now li, and we should put a capital because this is our favorite li. Return, we just want to return it. We don't want to select anything, just in case. Oh, and then we're gonna grab the value, constant value, and that will refer to targets, the text contents. In this case, the target will always be this li, and this tag name, the n in the uppercase. This case always gonna be the li. This case the target become the li, because it's not the li, we won't do this at all. So that's the value. Now all we have to do the inputs. Then this input right here, the value will be this value right here. The value variable. So we gotta save this. Now let's try it. So I'm looking to buy, and I show rent, price shows, as you can see. Housing type, say multi-family. Now you can see all of this. So that's our search. Now we're gonna move. If you need some time to pause and write this, you can do so. But that'll be it for the search. Now we move to this listing right here for the tab. It's not working now. So now refresh, remove this from here. Now let's start working on this one. So I'll go down right here. Put tab. We're coming right here, tab. Check constants for the function. And then now here I'm gonna call it tab. And gonna be a little bit similar to the search. So first thing, I'm gonna get the tab element itself. So right click this one, inspect. So right here we got a tab that wrap everything. So I'm gonna grab this tab element. So say constant tab el for element. Create the constant got tab length element, and that does refer to this each one of this tab length. So tab length links etal element, that be the tab element query letter tab link. Now the tab section right here, each one of these section. So I say const tab section elements, that will be tab element also. So I'm just gonna copy this one. It's here, and this will be tab section instead of link section. Again, this one I'll put the click event and the tab itself in an individual link. I'm going to draw down to the link that we did for the search. So say tab and add event listener, click. That's the events, the function. And first thing we do, we're going to prevent the default. So when we click on the link, it won't refresh the page. So I save this. Now if I click the link, I won't do anything. I won't jump. Now I'm going to get a target to see what we clicked on. Target, go that target. Now we're going to make sure our target at this class tab name, because that's the only thing we want to click to change this. We don't want to click here to change anything, just this one. So I will say constant tab links, and this will return true or false. So I say target a class place that contains tab link. This will return true or false. It will check if the target what we clicked on whether contain a class tab link or not. So let's console log tab links. It will return the true or false. So let's click this one, say true, true. If I click here, nothing happened. If I click here, it's a false, false, because this tab is true again. So this return true or false. With that, we're gonna see if it's false, use the tab link. So exclamation tab links return. So what we clicked on does not have a tab link class, you know, return. And what we want to do when we click on them, I want to remove the class from each, all of them, only add a active class to the one that got clicked on. So all we have to do is a tab link element. Sorry, and for this one, inside creator is we all. So all right here. Yeah, link. And for each, say tab. Now class list. Tab remove active. Now duplicate the shape alt down arrow key, and I'll do the for the section also. Section wrap around this one. Just section. And this will be section. So this will happen when we click, everything will disappear, you can see. Because if we remove the active class for the section, and there's nothing right here. So now we need to re-add it back to the one that we clicked on. So if we take a look here, you can see the tab have this href right here, and each section an ID corresponding to the href. So hash home, and this had ID home. So we're gonna use that to select the section to add a class to it. So we can create another constant variable called tab link destination, and this will be the targets. That gets attribute href, and for us the attribute here href. So this one will return hash home, hash apartment, hash line, and then we're going to select the section. So I'll say constant tab section, and this the tab element query selector, and this is ID. So since this we return hash and the name, so all we just have to create the tab link destination, and with that all I have to do down here, we add a class back to this active to the one that we clicked on, and a section also. That's a target class list, the add active. Don't duplicate this, shift alt down arrow, and this one be tab section. Save it. Now let's see, we are home apartment. I can see it add to it, remove from this one, add to it lane. So it's still right here, changing the image changes. This one remain the same. I can see it changing. So that's for the tab code right here. If you need to pause to rewash it or rewind it, you can do so. I'm gonna close this one out, and then we're gonna go draw carousel, which is a little bit more involved, a little bit more code to it. So let's start on the carousel. So go down here, carousel, and we're gonna code a carousel that if you want to add arrows to where you can add it also, or if you want to create broad carousel, you can do so. Also in the upcoming tutorial, we're gonna be creating a carousel, a full page carousel, which we add more feature to it, but this is gonna be a simple one. So create a variable function called carousel, and this one we take an argument called selector. Go down here, and then I'm gonna call it right here, the carousel. And for our selector, we're gonna put a hash slider. If we take a look right here, inspect, so I have the class slider right here, so we're selecting it. So with that, I'm very confident that the slider, which will be documents, that query selector, and that'll be selector that we pass inside of the argument for the function. And from this, we're gonna grab the wrapper. It's this kind of the track to it. So I'm gonna say once slider wrap goes slider query selector. Okay, now the way this carousel will work is, as you can see right here, it's a slide the last one and it goes back to the first one. So if I make this large, and we inspect this, let me put this one on the side, and we inspect this, you can see, and there are total like 4 original inside the HTML. There are total of 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we duplicate the first one and put it at the last. So when and then we duplicate the last one, this one, and put in the first. So once we get to the last one, which should be this one, it shows the same slide as the first one, and we just cycle right back to the first one without the user knowing. So if I remove the overflow from here, it has overflow hidden. No, not this one, but overflow hidden. You can see the last one, the first one right here. I removed it jumped all the way to the first. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna duplicate the first one and put it on the original last one. We're gonna put it at the front as the first. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's get started. Okay, so over here, let me make this one a little bit bigger. This is the first one. So how do we do it? So we're gonna grab the constant, go first slider clone. It will be the slider wrap the children. This slider that children, we grab every element inside of the wrapper right here. All of this, and and grab only the first one, so 0, and then say clone node, and then passing true. So now we clone the element, then we clone everything inside of it as well, and we pass in the true. So if I console log first slider clone, you see, you can see, and now you clone the element for everything inside of it as well. Now we're gonna clone the last one, so I'm just duplicate this one, so it'll be last, and gonna be for this one, just gonna be the same thing as this one. So I'm gonna grab last one, children, that length, that will tell us how many we have total minus 1, and that we grab the last one, this one right here. After that, I'm gonna create another variable. This will be let's, because we want to change it. It'll be active slide, and then I'll create another variable index. We will keep track of where we are, and this one set to be 1, and I will explain to you why I set it to be 1, even though the first one will be 0. So we remove this one. Now we need to put the clone one, the first one on the bottom right here, and the last one on the top right here. So if you remember, this is the first one that had our name Samantha, and the last one had the name Julie. So keep that in mind. So I say first clone, we add a class to a class list, add first clone. Now we do the same for the last one. So instead of first, it will be last. Control D to select multiple. So last clone. Now I'm going to add them to the slide. So it says slider wrapper, slider wrap, the append child, and this we add before the ending of this element. So after the last one, append child, and the first clone. So if I save this one, you should see the first one added at the last right here, where the class first clone and see how the class active as this one. Now I'm going to do it for the last one, so I'm going to duplicate this one. So instead of append, you're going to prepend. So prepend, and this will be last clone. And if I save this one, now you see it's Julie and no longer Samantha, because this one became the first one inside in the HTML. Now this one becomes second one. Now we need to grab how many total slide we have, including this clone. So I'm going to create a variable called carousel. Carousel slide, and this will be array from slider wrap that children. This will turn them to an array. So if I including the 2 we clone sources, console that log carousel slide. Let's save this. Now I say having an array of total 6. Before we had a 4, now we have 6. Now create another constant called total slide total. Now we put a number of the 6. Total slider will be carousel slide, that length will be 6 in this case. Now we want to, obviously this is not the first one. The first one is semi-method, so we want to move this out of the way and semi-method to be the first one. So down here, we want to create a function that we will call inside our carousel function. This is the big function right here. So I'm going to create a function called activate active slider. So we're going to be using this function every time we need to show the active slide. Because we want to cycling through. And this one take a parameter called options. So what is the option? Here we need to grab certain a variable that need to be used here. So the option will be using it down here to correspond to the variable, right? So when we call it, we just have to pass in these objects. It's gonna be an object that will include all the variable that we need. So for example, we need slides. Want to remove the active class from all of them. So say option slide. Let me just cancel log something real quick, so you know what I'm talking about. Now this won't do anything till we call it right here. So the activate, and then we're gonna pass it options. Now we don't have such variable right here, so I'm gonna create a variable. It's gonna be a let options, because it's gonna be an object. So first thing we're gonna create a name called index, and this index correspond to this one right here. Now we're gonna create another called active slide, which correspond to the active slide variable right here, even though it's empty for now. Now say slides, which this one is referring to right here, option slide. So option slide. Now we had a slide right here. We refer to the carousel slide right here. So carousel slide. Now we create on the total slide. Which will be total slide. And then with our track, the track refer to this wrapper that wrap around everything. We're gonna be to drag it, which refer to a slider wrap. And then we're gonna grab a slider itself. Slider. That's the div that wrap around everything. So these are the value for now. So when we pass the option, we can save it. As we see, our option slide refer back to this one. You see right here. Now you can name this one anything you want. It does have to be options. It can be anything. Just make sure if whatever name you put right here is the same as this one. So now I'll remove the active class from all of this right here, because this one has active and this one also have active. So for each slide a class list that remove active. Save it. Now you can see the active class are gone, but this one is still here. So we need to grab the Now we need to update the active slide. We want to see which one is active, which should be this one. So you can say action the active slide equals option the slider. Now remember this that slide it corresponds to this array right here of all the slide, and this one should be 0, this one being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's why we set the index to be 1, so you can refer back to this one right here, another 0. So all we have to do right here, passing option that index. Save this. Now nothing happens. So I'll say if we do not have active, let's say we want to cycling and the index is more than what we have right here, we don't want to do anything. Let's say if option the active class does not exist, if this you don't have this, we are going to stop the code. If it otherwise, we're just going to add class to it. So active options active slide the class list the add active. Say this one. See, AC remain this one, but this one now have the active class, and this one does not anymore. So right now we need to slide it right here, and all that is just simple. We just want add a transform translate and slide it to the left. So I say the track option the track, and our track refer to the slider wrapper right here, which is this one right here. That style, that transform, and will be translate 3D. I put 3D. And using the template letter $, and here it will be negative 100 times the index. So this is -1. So options the index, and then put percent and 0, 0. Save this. Now we're back to Samantha right here, and this one I can see when I highlight it, it's same right here, and this one is not the active as we want it. So that's it for this one. Now let's make sure also create a function that we're gonna call for this dot also. So let's do that. So if you need time to pause it to rewind it, you can do so for this one, but that'll be it for the slide. Minimize this one, go down here, create another function called active slide dot. Activate and this also we take the options and all we have to do for this one, save and color right here also as duplicate this one. So slide that, and now we're working with the dots right here. So slide the dots. So I'm gonna create the dot wrapper. which wrap around all of this. So will be option slider. This option slider refer to the actual ID slider, right? That wrap around everything. A query selector. So it's gonna be slider. We go desktop class right here. After this one, I'm gonna grab all the dots right here. So I say const dots will be our bracket the spread operator to turn this into an array. So that's wrapper dot children. And same thing we did right here to remove the active class right here. Gonna copy this one. Gonna do the same thing for the dots. Remove them. This guy just want to change this one out of this to just dots, and this one will be dots. Save it. Now I see we have lost the active class. Now go down and we're gonna grab the active one, the one that we need to be active, which is the first one. So I say const active dots will be okay. Now for this one, we see gonna use the index. First one, index is 1, but this one start with 0. So it's with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So one way we can select the dots at the nth using the nth child to be 1. But there's no nth child of 0. So nth child 1 will correspond to this one right here. So we do some dots wrapper that query selector, and we want to set the class dots. So that's nth child, and here to the curly brackets, the dollar sign, and you're gonna pass in the option, the index options, the index. So I say active dots, the class list, add active. Now let's see. Save this one. Now it added the active class to this, as you can see right here. But what happened, it does not, we don't find it, then it will give us error. So to prevent that, say if active that does not exist, we're going to return it, return the function. We're only going to add it if it finds it. Okay, we will call this function right here, the activates, and then pass it the action. The reason why we want to call it, because when we saw scrolling through it and go to the second one, we want not only this one to update, but also the slide also to update, so other classes to be removed also. So we're gonna call it here as well. Actually, we don't need to add this one. So and yeah, we don't need that one. Let's save it. It should be fine right now. Now I want to add the click event to it, so when we click it, it can move. So I'll come down here, create another function, click that, and this also will take the option. I'm gonna call it right here. Click that, put some space in between them. And for this one, we just need these two also. Copy this. And I want to add the event listener as there for this tab. I want to do it for this one to the wrapper, add event listener to a wrapper, so can drill down to the target we'll click on. So all I have to do is say that's wrapper, add event listener, and click. So the first thing we do is prevent the default. And then we go and grab the targets. Don't know what we click on. E, the target. After the targets, I'm gonna check if we click on this that we have had a class that, so I say if you do not, if targets the class list that content dot no cancel the live, yes. So let's see. Let me click between them, nothing happened. I'm not sure why it's not working. Oh, of course it won't work. It's click, not click. So let's try again. So let me click between this, nothing happened, but so I click this one, I say yes, yes, yes. So what that's being said, we can see if it does not contain it, then we don't want to run the function. So we turn. So we go down here. Now I want to remove the active class from all the dots, except for the one we click on. So we say that's for each. Remove active. So I save this one. This will happen. If I click this, now you remove from all of them. If I click this one, you also remove it. Okay. But we want to leave it on this one. So we want to get the index or the one that we clicked on, so it remain active. Okay. So I'm going to create a constant called click view index, the one we clicked on. So the index will be that we refer to the array index of, then I'm gonna say targets. So that's the one that had that class. If it does not have that class, this won't work at all. So we want grab the index of the one we clicked on. So let me cancel that log. Clicked index. Save it. So this one is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that's how I clicked index. Now we want to update our index from the action right here. So we say action that index equals click index plus 1. Now the reason is plus 1, even though this is 0 right here, when we click 0, we need the index for this actual sliding also to be plus 1, because if it's 0 and we kept it to be 0 like this slide right here, it will show the last clone instead of this active one. Okay, because we want to slide and when we click it. So let me just leave it like this and you can see. So I will say the constant active that v equals to that. We want to grab the index of where we clicked. So options, the index. In this case, if you click 0, it's gonna be that's that 0. So I'm gonna grab this first one. If index 1, I'm gonna grab this one. So let's see if active index does not exist. If that index does not exist, now return. Else we just want to add a class for so active that class list that add active. So save it. So you see nothing happened. But if I create the second one, and it goes to the second one, third one, fourth one, first one. Now I'm going to do the sliding post. And remember, our activate active slide add our transform right here. Okay. And also take care of removing adding the right class to this one correctly. So we're gonna call it. Okay, we're gonna call it right after this one. I'm gonna say activate static and passing the actions. Now remember this one also looking at the index option on index, and right here we set it with the clicked. So if the one is 0, so we're gonna go to 0. So if I save this one, remember this is the real first one. Samantha is the real one, the first element, and then Julie is the last one, the clone one. Right here, Julie. So keep that in mind. If I save this one now, see if I click the 0, say Julie right here. If I click 1, next is Samantha. Where shouldn't be? Also, there's a place right here. See a judge jump, judge slide. So go back to our CSS and go to the slider down here. If you following testimonial slider right here, the wrapper, put the transition, transform, translate, 52000, and not transition, transform 0.35 seconds ease and out. Save this. Now if I click, see, go to Julie, but it should be Samantha because our index right here it refer to the 0. Okay, because the click index we always get the index of the data clicked on. So that's why we can add +1 here and write down here. Now if I save this one, now if I click this one, see it goes to the correct one. See, with the +1. So this one right here -1. So you get to the correct one because that didn't put the correct one. So if I press 2, Kevin, Riley, and Julie, the last one. Not Samantha, always the first one, even though this is 0 right here. Okay, because this right here if we create this one is 0 and we'd add 1, so it's gonna be index will be 1, and down here index will be 1 also, but we need to be 0. That's why we remove the 1 from here, and it will work. See, now that's for the click that. Now we're gonna work on another bigger function, which is actually the sliding part, auto slider. So before we add auto slider, we're gonna go down here, create function called move carousel. We take also the options. Okay, and for this one, I just want for temporarily up here. I'm gonna say create a variable called let up here. No, not let interval. Okay, so I will say interval equal set interval, and I say 4,000. So every 4 seconds. So what we want to do is just call the move carousel. That's the option. Now for our option, we're gonna add a direction to this one. So direction. I will set it to right. So when I say direction right, that means when I want it to go from the right here to slide to the left. Okay. So usually if we had an arrow, it's gonna be the right arrow. We clicked, so we're gonna be moving it. So that's why I said to right. Also I will set a duration to be 4,000. So 4,000 milliseconds. So down here I'll just put options duration. So I save this, nothing happens. We close or click that. Here I can say CL console log yes. So every 4 seconds you're gonna say yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see 2, another yes. Okay, so now we want to grab our active slide again. Grab our active slide. Here, so options, active slide equals option slider, that query selector slider item that active, that had a class active. So this one. So every time we cycle through, we always want to grab the active one at that moment, and then the index also of the active one. So make sure we increase the index at every interval. So I say actions, the index equals options, the slides. Again, remember the slide refer to the other slide right here, and then array, the index of, then we're gonna grab the active slide, options, active slide. Let's save this, nothing happens. But let me cancel the log, the options, index. Now this is gonna remain the same because we're not moving, so it's gonna remain the same. As you can see, it's just remaining the same. Now we're gonna say if our direction is right, we want, if so we want to go to right to left, then we want to increase the index, else we want to decrease the index. So I say if on the ternary operator, options, index, no, option direction equals right options index plus plus, else options index minus minus. save this, nothing happens. But if we call the activates, passing the action and save it, you should see. I don't know why it's moved. Now let me cancel out the index. Options. So 0. Okay, I see the problem. The problem is right here. This will be that right here. So I say this one, it should be work now. Okay, now. Okay. See, now it's sliding. Now it's sliding. Now if I did the active that also, it should be working also. So options. Now you can see. See now, and now the last one. Then go to the clone one. That's going to right here. Then it's that. Now we want to go back to the first one right here. So this is what we do. We will add a event listener to the slider to check if we reach the first clone. If we do, we go back to the first one. So how do we do it? Just add the options, track, add event listener, and will be transition, and because we add a transition to this for the smooth sliding. And here we want to check if the direction, our direction options and direction goes right, and the slide we currently on at that time has the first clone, so it will be options, slides, and then we pass in the index at that moment after the transition end. So that after, yeah, exactly, when it's after this slide, for example this one, grab the index of the slide at that moment if it had a class. So it will be options passing the index, that index. Then I check the class list that contains first clone. Contain the first clone. Then we want to set the index to 1. So options, the index equals 1. And we'll bring these two inside the function right here. So if I save this, now you got the first one right here. Take a look right here. Now this will not move because this will only happen after the transition. When transition ends. So down here we need to slide it again by, all I have to do, go back here, just this one, place it outside here, save it, I'm gonna slide it. You can see now it's moving. Once I reach the last one, you can see now this is the original last one. Now I go back, it went back to the first one, but you see a slide. See, you can see a slide all the way again. we don't want to do that. You can see once you read the last one right here. We went back to our first one, but there's no transition. So what we had to do, remove the transition every time it's slide. So down here, I will paste this one again, the track, but then instead of transform, it's gonna be transition duration, and gonna be 0 second. And down here, we're gonna reset it, removing the transition duration, so the transition will be active again. It's gonna be null. So we save this to the slide. Second one, I can see right here. Third one, and the fourth one. Now you can see it goes by the first one. Now I went here without us seeing, because every time it slide, you see the transition duration goes 0, and then we move it and about to slide again. Okay, now if I click this one now, see the sliding stop, because the transition duration is still there, so we want to remove it from the click that. So down here, what you have to do is send null, save it. Now if I click it, it's a slide. Now I went back to the first one, as you can see right here. Now we did that for the right, we have to do it for the left. So let me change this setting up here to left. So we want to move to the left. Save it. Now we right here. Now we try to go to the backward. Now it went here, and it's stop. See, it's out of the way, but there's nothing else here. So we want to fix that. So if direction, we want to copy this one, paste it right here. So if direction go left, and the slide at that time according to the index right here is out of class last clone, like this one. Then we want to come down to here, not here, but this one. This is your original last one. So it's gonna be option index be the options, that total slide. Now the total slide content total how many slide we have right here. So in this case 6, but we want to end right here, which is 4. So minus 2, because this we had to remove these 2 clone out of it. So if you save this one now, it should be working now. So slide it. Now you can see. Went to the last one. Now this one and this one. And now it went back to the last one again. Now we want to, for example, when you put your mouse over there, you want to stop scrolling, stop like autoplay, and when you remove your mouse, and to autoplay again. So down here, I'm gonna create 2 functions again. So I'm gonna close this one out, and this will be start autoplay. Again, take option. And now we're going to grab our interval right here. This interval that we create right here, so we can clear. So I'm going to add that right here. Interval equals interval. So I say options interval equals set interval and this be option. It says options dot slider duration. And up here, I'll make sure I put slider duration. So what do we want to do? I'll just call the mouse move carousel, and I pass in the option again. Then we want to create the opposite of stop autoplay. And this one, just simple, just clear interval, and then we're going to pass in the interval variable. Just like that. And up in here, instead of doing this one, all we have to do is add event listener, mouse move, and mouse leaves. So I say options the slider, and the slider wrap around everything. Add event listener, mouse move. You can also use mouse enter. Actually, yeah, mouse enter. I'm gonna call our function stop autoplay. Passing the options and duplicate this one. Say mouse leave start autoplay. Save it. Now you see nothing will happen because this the start autoplay will only work on the mouse leave. So if I put my mouse over it and remove it, now I should wait for 4 seconds and start cycling. See, now it's still going to the left. Let me change to right. So then put now nothing happened, then put a mouse over it and remove it. Now it's moving. Put a mouse over it, it will stop. Now nothing will happen. It will not move. Go at the mouse enter. So we want to call the start autoplay outside of the add event listener by the option, otherwise it will not work. I'll start autoplay by default. Now we work. Now you can see it's working without the interaction. Now if I put my mouse over it, it should stop. As you can see right here, it's not moving. If I remove my mouse, it will start moving again. Now you can see. Click. So that's it. That's it for the tutorial. So let's recap this. We create for the navigation. It shows when we click, it goes away. When we scroll, it changes the background color for the header. We make this drop down so it can work. And we add functionality. Okay, we didn't finish that right here. So I want that when we click outside of it, we'll close. So go. So I'll close this one. Now search right here. Outside of here, I will say window that add event listener, mouse up, All I want to do is just this one. That's the same thing. So I can just copy this. Or I close this for me. Close this one. Just put it right here. Save it. Now, if I click this one, choose it, create this one, choose it, and I click outside of it, it goes away. Okay. So we did our search. We did this tab right here. We can change. And last but not least, we add the functionality for the slider. The autoplay, everything. And you can create more slider. Make sure add a ID to a set by setting ID of the class or by class. So that's it. That's it for this week tutorial, and that's it for the theory. The next tutorial we create a full slider with more action, advanced options. So I'll go more into detail explaining how it works. But that's it for this week. Thank you for staying by. If you have not already done so, I would like if you like, share, and subscribe to the bell notification icon so you won't miss my tutorial whenever I release new one. Thank you again for your time, and I have a great one. And I'll see you next week tutorial. Bye.